Now, this is the part where I transport myself into the negative zone because I have a few negative things to say about this version of Fantastic Four. Let's go. See? Wasn't that hard? Hello to the people on YouTube from this side and to the people on Instagram from this side. Welcome to today's episode on Starling on Cinemas. That's Cinemas with an S. And today I'll be giving you my review on Fant4stic. Fantastic Four, Fant4stic from 2015, Josh Trank, the one that nobody likes. And I know what you're thinking. Before you click off, you please hear what I have to say because, again, my opinion ain't everybody's opinion. But I know just right off the bat, we can easily say that Fant4stic is not an amazing comic book movie. It's not a well-done comic book movie. It does not do the Fantastic Four justice. But it's a good thing that these guys will be coming to the MCU soon enough. So before I begin, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and like and subscribe on YouTube. Like on both ends, share on both platforms. That will definitely help. And comment on all the bad you got to say about this movie. If you got a little bit of good, that's okay. But comment on whatever bad you got to say about this movie. Unleash your opinions. And most importantly, watch to the very end. Transported into an alternate universe, 4 young outsiders gain superhuman powers as they alter their physical form in shocking ways. Reed Richards becomes Mr. Fantastic, able to stretch and twist his body at will, while his pal, Ben Grimm, gains immense strength as the Thing. Johnny Storm becomes the Human Torch, able to control and project fire, while his sister Sue becomes the Invisible Woman. Together, the team must harness their new abilities to prevent Dr. Doom from destroying the Earth. Or, in the lyrics of the 90s cartoon, they were on a space adventure, and they got hit by cosmic rays. See the four that changed forever in the most fantastic way. But now they're near and no need to fear. Just call them the 4. Fantastic Four. See, Reed Richards is elastic. Sue can fade from sight. Johnny is the Human Torch. And the Thing just loves to fight. Now, once upon a time, we had our first live-action adaptation of the Fantastic Four in '94, which was in conjunction with the animated series that I just sung the theme song to, that had its run during the Marvel animated universe of the 90s, which, if you know, everybody who's on this channel is not a millennial. So if you're more familiar with the Marvel cartoons from Disney XD, those are great. But I haven't seen none of them, but I know that they are highly praised for their quality, just the quality and the animation. But I highly recommend the Marvel animated shows from the 1990s, starting from X-Men to Spider-Man to the Hulk and everything that you can catch in that era. But out of all in any Marvel franchise, the Fantastic Four's iterations have a very ignited track record of being poorly received and lacking a lot of substance as far as what audiences want to see from Marvel's OG superhero squad. The 1994 Fantastic Four was so bad that it was unreleased. But both of the Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s are the ones that I believe mostly do justice to the characters very well, even if some things are a little bit inaccurate, like Dr. Doom. Now, this one that I'm talking about right here, this very video as we speak, John Trank's 2015 film Fant4stic, is more of a living proof to what a lot of people's perceptions on these movies are. I happen to be one of those people, one of those many people. Like, even first time watching, I didn't like it. I wasn't very impressed. But this ain't the end of the review. From minor to the major, I know exactly what I do not like about the movies. To start, each of the members of the Fantastic Four are not even age accurate. I know that's a little bit irrelevant, but that's like the most concrete flaw of these characters that they have. But With Storm being an exception as far as age accuracy goes, the filmmakers' attempt to do something different with this team only results in something cliche. However, the choice to have the story explore a different dimension instead of doing the obvious with cosmic rays. Now, I know that was intentional to not have them get blasted by cosmic rays, but to have them go into a different dimension, bringing some aspect from the comics into this movie. But it was a risk that only works for the sake of it, and it does not do justice to the story at all. At all. Nada. The movie does not offer enough action or comedic substance, but it only has the right amount to keep your eyes open. I'm talking about myself when I say that, because I at least, even though I didn't thoroughly enjoy it, or at least wasn't entertained to the least, I was at least staying awake. That's something. Not even the climax could thoroughly satisfy a die-hard Marvel fan. Like, what type of action do you expect from a Fantastic Four movie? I mean, what I expect it to be fun. I expect it to be like what I saw in the Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s, but better. Because I know whatever Marvel Studios does in the MCU with this team, it will be, well, perfectly executed. Considering that it's directed by the same man who's bringing out the best in this Spider-Man, in that universe's Spider-Man. But anyway, it's not like the movie is making Amazing Spider-Man 2 mistakes by adding too much. They're doing the exact opposite. It's unsaturated, meaning it lacks creative material, a brilliant script, and memorable chemistry from its cast. It is one thing to dislike this version of the Fantastic Four because of their age, and a whole nother thing entirely to dislike this version because of how they were written. Big difference. I fall more on the spectrum of those who have a problem with the characterization. Age issues aside, Reed Richards, Susan Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm each have something that could be fixed, whether it is related to their superpowers or just their personalities. For Reed Richards, the thing that bothered me was the fact that he had to wear braces all over his body in order to maintain stability to his anatomy. Sue Storm is probably the character that I have the least amount of problems with, because everything about her character sounded right, except her being an adopted child. That's something they changed for the film, because Franklin Storm, who is a known character in the comics and has family and is related to Johnny and Sue, was black, so the son had to be black, which is what leads us to Michael B. Jordan. We'll shortly get there. But she might not have the empathy like Jessica Alba's version and her comic book counterpart, but she had her strategies and her brain to get her through certain situations. Whether it's something as little as having music to focus, I can relate, or using your powers to its advantage to the most efficient way possible. And this leads me to my boy Michael B. Jordan's casting as Johnny Storm. But this was questionable. When I saw this, I was confused. Because you know Johnny Storm in the comics, he's not black. He's a white blonde. He's a white blonde. So it just had me wondering, why did they cast Michael B. Jordan in this role? But it still works for me as far as what Jordan brings to the role. Michael plays Johnny as somebody who is talented but is still obnoxious and rebellious at times. Michael B. Jordan's charismatic. Michael B. Jordan was charismatic in the role, and he had nothing to do with whatever made this film unappealing overall. But no one is going to be as excellent and as charming in the role of the Human Torch like my man Chris Evans, pre-Captain America. Jamie Bell's Ben Grimm was a little off in this version. I could easily brush him to the side and say I love Michael Chiklis better because he was funny and he was strong in those movies. But Jamie Bell's Ben came off as someone quiet and laid back. It's like whenever he was talking, you could barely hear him. He was mumbling. Grimm is a heavy boy from Brooklyn. Like, he's a big dude, okay? They might have shown some of the little stuff that shapes that tough and grim demeanor, like growing up in a junkyard in a rough household. But Ben Grimm does not show a lot of that in the movie, even before he becomes the Thing. As a Victor Von Doom, before we get to Victor Von Doom, weren't already mischaracterized already, in Tim Story's version of the Fantastic Four, they toned him down a lot more into a one-dimensional, look at that, a one-dimensional arrogant brat who sees himself as a god and believes that he is too good for planet Earth. That is, therefore, he wants to destroy it. Like, I'm too good for the Earth. That means these people are way under my shoe, so I'm going to crush them. But the biggest strength with the cast mostly comes from Michael B. Jordan's Johnny Storm and how he interacts with his surrogate family. But everyone else could have been better with their chemistry with each other, on set and probably off set if that's the case. Rotten Tomatoes gives Fant4stic a 9%. Fant4stic falls somewhere in between very bad and somewhat okay for me, with an inadequacy of action, comedy, plot substance, and many things in between. Fant4stic is the ultimate proof that not every new version of the first family will turn out so fantastic. I think Josh Trank's 2015 Fant4stic deserves 4.9 out of 10. I say it's a little more watchable than the first Punisher movie and the first Blade movie, but Punisher Warzone and Blade 2, as far as this playlist is concerned, was better than this movie combined. But that is my review on Fant4stic. If you have your personal poor opinions about this movie, feel free to comment on the section below, okay? Free country. It's a free country. It's a free internet. You say whatever you want to say. You comment on whatever you would like to comment on. And most importantly, I'll see you next time in my next video. Now, time to get out of the negative zone. What just happened?